Aloha, people. I'm back. Welcome to anybody new. It's Unapologetically Jax. I'm Jax. Coming to you live from Terrible, Kanakistan on Saturday, June 29th, 2024. I've just spent the last 10 minutes trying to drive around this parking lot to find a spot where the light was okay. It's really hot here and humid today. It's a long weekend. It's Canada Day on Monday, July 1st. Anyways, I had to go to the No Frills and get some of my sparkling water and some coffee creamer. It's on sale, so that was good. $3.26 for a liter of half and half, and for our coffee, and my case of sparkling water is like $4.50, PC brand. I only like one flavor, blueberry pomegranate. So, and then we're out. I was like, oh hell no. So then I go around see where they sometimes promote it because it's on sale, $4.50 instead of like $5. And I was like, aha, good to get lots of my blueberry pomegranate because the rest of the flavors suck. Anyway, it's really hot in this car. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see if I get this window down a little more. That's not helping at all. Oh, and my car was groaning every time I moved her around. Old Teresa. I got a 2007 Hyundai SUV, and yeah, she was groaning. Her name's Teresa. It was a Santa Fe, right, in Spanish. Teresa. Teresa from the show Queen of the South. If you've never watched that one, it's about a chick that turns into it's not like some Southern belle. It's about a chick that's a drug mule that turns into take over all the cartels, and yeah, she's awesome. She's like the anti-hero, but she's like, starts out good, but she's forced into this horrible world that she can't get out of. Like, she's got they'll kill her, right? So, the cartels. So it's a really good, if you never watched Queen of the South, by all means, go watch it. It's done now. It was relatively in the last 10 years. It's really good. The chick that was in it, she is in, what other movie she's in? Dark haired, oh, I can't think right now. My brain's not braining because it's friggin' muggy. Anyways, I put up a video today. It's called Spirit's Law and Faith's Law versus the Law. I had filmed that a couple weeks ago, and yeah, it just I put it away because I said in my last video that I had a couple of things that I had recorded, but then I had to edit, and I hadn't published them, and so that was a good one though. I went back and rewatched it and tried to edit out a part that I meant to be editing, and I was a little somber. I wasn't feeling good that week, but anyways. And yesterday's message about Romans again, there's no condemnation. I seem like I'm ticked off. What? I wasn't mad. I seem mad, but I'm not. I'm just more sad than anything. It's just a sad situation, and I don't want to go on about it anymore because it's taking up way too much space in my head. But I will say that young woman that I talked of, somebody's daughter, when I said she called him evil, in Martin's video yesterday, in the comments, she blamed him. I didn't see that when I was making that video because I watched his video. Then I went outside and made a video. Then later on I see the comments, and this is really sad and tragic, so I'm going to keep it short, the yip yapping. But in the comments, she actually blamed him for her being addicted to drugs, and that after she learned the truth of the evangel, she went back to doing drugs for a few more years, and now she's a year clean, which is great, praise God. And I commented, if anyone saw my comment to her, I was trying to be gracious, but I wasn't gracious because I have been a drug addict in my life, in my youth, and I'm a mother of an addict that is off the fentanyl now, my 28-year-old daughter, but she still delves in meth and crack, but she's not shooting fentanyl because she's getting a special shot in her stomach, like Suboxone, kind of like that, and it's called a Suboxone shot. You get it once a month. So she's been sober for, and I've said this in another video a few back, that she's been sober for about 4 or 5 months now, which is great. It's better than shooting fentanyl up her veins, okay? But because I've been a daughter of an addict, and I've been an addict myself in my youth, I was addicted to crack. And God delivered me from that. It's totally set me free. Back in my youth, I understand how horrible it is. But what I would never do, blaming Martin's teachings on Paul's evangel as an excuse that she went back and just was back into drugs, kept doing drugs, and she was just worse and worse and worse. obviously she doesn't understand the absolute and relative perspective. I mean, how, to blame someone else? One thing you learn in recovery, and I didn't say that to her in the thing, but I told her, I said, your parents would be rebuking you for such immaturity. It's not Martin's fault, okay, that you went and, for your crappy choices, you know what I mean, that you decided to keep using drugs until a year ago. Like, how is Paul's evangel? Like, that's immaturity. That's immaturity. I remember when I learned the salvation of all in 2011, I didn't go blame L. Ray Smith or Gary Emerald from Tent Maker back in those days, because I didn't know the evangel yet, for any sinning that I may have done, okay? Like, that's just immaturity, and that's not fair to Martin. Unless Martin was handing you the damn drugs, then no. And that's just immaturity, and I'm surprised at Johnny and Kathy Green that you wouldn't rebuke your daughter and go, or explain to her that that's not Martin's fault. Martin's teaching. So, anyway. And I'll tell you right now that the stuff that her father's teaching, being sin conscious and dealing with sin, it won't be long, hopefully not, God forbid, it won't be long before you relapse into drugs, because I'll tell you, I lived under that as an addict. And that condemnation, working, don't work. It don't work. Anyways, God decided to, well, it was God scripted you, that you get clean, and I hope that you stay clean. I will be praying for you, Caitlin, but to blame someone else, if you're going to any NA, Narcotics Anonymous meetings, or any Alcoholics Anonymous meetings, or any kind of meetings, they'll tell you that in the 12 steps of the recovery programs, absolutely not. Absolutely, you do not take ownership. You own, you know? And I had to go through a process years back where I had to forgive my daughter's father, my two daughters, their father who passed away in 2010. I did a video about death. That was talking about my ex. He died of an overdose, but he had introduced me to crack back in 1994. And I went through some time when I was still in Christianity that I blamed Wayne. But then I realized, you know what? Wayne didn't do it on purpose. He didn't even, he had addiction issues. He didn't do it on purpose. So I had to forgive him. That's part of recovery, Caitlin. So if you're listening to me at all, part of recovery is taking ownership and responsibility for your own actions. Anyway, it's enough on that one. I'm at 7 minutes. I wanted to read something, and I don't know if I'm not going to have time now. It's going to be too darn long. Is there something else? Lord, I don't know. You know what? I'll read this. Just kind of in line with what I'm saying. I didn't plan on saying, well, I planned on saying something, but I wasn't sure if I was going to do a video at the grocery store, but I keep my bag of tricks in the car now, so to speak. It's just my books and my tripod and stuff. I don't have a sticky phone thing, so I have to position my tripod here in the car, and it took me a while. Like, it was not wanting to bend. It wasn't want to stay stable. Anyway, and it's one of these things though that I did want to say something on that, because it really bothered me when I read that. Considering I've come out of a very hard life, and absolutely not blaming someone else for that. And there's so much I want to read here, and and here's a great series too. God does all this, but it'll be so long, and people don't like to watch long videos. So, I don't know. I guess maybe I wanted to read something. But everything's really long here. Well, maybe I'm just going to read this. Why does it take so long? Someone asked me, why does it take so long for someone to realize truth? Actually, this is in line, because you know what? The family has gone back to religion. That family I was talking about. And it doesn't work. It does not work. Anyways, Paul's evangel sets you free. Martin's teachings never caused me to want to think that I could go and sin whatever I want. Again, that's immaturity. If anything, I was struggling with drinking when I learned the evangel, and I started watching Martin's videos, and actually God used some of that to teach me, and it set me free. from alcoholism, because I had this breakdown over the addict daughter that I was talking about, who lost my 2 grandkids to adoption. During that time, I had a nervous breakdown. I started drinking heavy for a few years, and it was during that time that God taught me the evangel, and God used Martin amongst other people, but his videos teaching me the evangel, because my husband had already subbed to him and been watching him, and my husband teaching me the evangel. But also Martin was used by God in many people's lives, and and while I kept drinking, I wasn't blaming Martin that I kept drinking. I don't go back now and go, why I kept drinking because Martin's teachings caused me to keep drinking. That's just stupid, okay? We're all grown-ups, and that's immature thinking. Those were my choices in the relative, right? In the absolute perspective, God has scripted all that to happen. Anyways, I'm at 10 minutes, so I better read. I'm going to speed read. I'm not saying all this to be mean either, right? People have this accountability, right? And, I don't know them all personally, but I do know what that life's like. And I am really glad that she's sober. And I pray that she stays sober. But religion ain't going to help. I'm telling you that right now. Nope. It's sure to fail. Anyways, why does it take so long? This is by Rick Longvas, Daily Thoughts from Scripture. Someone asked me, why does it take so long for someone to realize truth? That is a question I don't think anyone can answer with complete satisfaction, although the person asked the question with the knowledge that truth is realized. Not as many today believe that truth is learned. There are so many who believe they have truth. I believe I have the truth. Not all truth, but the foundation of truth. And with that, I expect to build on it more truth as God reveals. Truth doesn't just pop out of thin air. It is realized through studying the scriptures, reading what others feel God has revealed to them, sifting through thoughts, waiting on the Lord to open our hearts to his truth, and praying for revelation. It is often a process of discarding what we once believed was truth and holding on to what is. Many hold on to doctrines and traditions that have been passed down from generation to generation. One of these would be that Sunday is the Sabbath, and by that I mean a day where you go and worship God somewhere special, like a church or a temple, and spend the rest of your day doing nothing that requires physical labor. Many believe that it is a truth in the Bible, yet it cannot be found anywhere in the scriptures. How long have the masses been in error on just one simple false belief? Approximately 1700 years. So when it comes to the meatier things of the scriptures, they may never come to a realization of those truths in their lifetime. And yeah, the Sabbath for the Israelites is Saturday. Friday night sundown to Saturday night sundown. Anyway, there's a portion of a verse in Colossians that I have highlighted in my Bible. To whom God wills to make known, Colossians 1:27. That is the only way I can account for those who are having truth revealed to them and those who are not. As I said, all believe they have truth, and most believe they go to school somewhere to learn it, and that is how seductive deception is. It never starts when you start to seek truth. It has begun long before any of us even cracked open our Bibles. It has set its system up generations ago, and the ones who will be unaffected by it are the ones to whom God wills to make known his truth. Another thing I have found is before God reveals truth, he often reveals the error. That is absolutely how, I've got more testimony parts to do, and that's absolutely true here, Brother Rick Longvas. The error would be what the flesh desires the truth to be. The truth would be what the Spirit reveals, and that begins from the day on which you hear and realize the grace of God in truth. Colossians chapter 1, verse 6. I had to unlearn everything to relearn everything. It was a Jedi mind screw since 2008. Going on almost 20 years. It's 15 years of... When the grace of God is revealed to us, only then can we really begin to learn truth. Up until that moment would be considered speculative. Grace turns on the light that shines on all Christ has done, is doing, and will do, not only for the ones seeking truth, but for those who have no knowledge of his truth and grace. So to answer the question, why does it take so long for someone to realize truth? Not many realize grace. But there is coming a time when all will know his grace, and when that time comes, all will realize truth. And that's why we herald the word. How true is that? You know what? I had a totally different message picked out. And that's what God wanted. I'm at 15 minutes. That's going to make a good time. That is true. And I've had to unlearn and relearn. And it's very humbling to realize you were wrong. But it's really great when you come in and go, oh, wow, this is it. And then it's just learning upon learning and maturing. Anyways, it is so hot in this car, people. Oh, I'm a sweating. Anyways, and I feel like I'm going to go cross-eyed because it's hot. It's humid. It's gross. Back hurts. Hips hurt. Wah, wah, wah. Anyway, grace and peace to you all. I greet you all with a holy kiss. Again, I'll end this with saying, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm real. And that's one thing you'll always get from me. I'm real about myself. I'm real about my life, my past. And yeah. I'm not a bullshitter. I'm not a fake. I know somebody's already realized that. Welcome to anyone who's new to my channel. If you like me, want to like, subscribe, sure, or don't. Anyways, I'll talk to y'all again soon. We'll see. I say I'm not going to make a video, and then I do, and, I told Paul I'm not going to make a video, but I did. So anyways, I love you all very much, and I thank you for your kind comments, and everyone's generosity and kindness, and, there's been people that have donated. That really helped us, eh? That's really appreciated, eh? Everything. And, and Robbo Weil texted me this morning and asked me if I wanted some of the Martin's books, Christianity's Solution books from the conference. So he's mailing me out a couple of copies that he had so I can spread them around, because he knows that I'll spread them around, right? That was sweet. He's a good brother. So happy Canada Day from all us Canuckistanians. There's only 3 of us Canadian making YouTubes. Robbo thought it was just me and him, but there's Colin. Do you think you're funny? There's only 3 of us making videos right now from Canada that I know of that are in the body of Christ. I mean, like, not across the board, obviously. Anyways, I better shut this off at 17 minutes, and people don't like long videos. Well, we're all busy. I get it. Talk to you soon.